Hello and welcome to another episode. My name is Alondra Chapman, and I am a coach, a trainer, a wife, a mother, and definitely an enthusiast of everything fitness. Today, I have a special guest joining me. Her name is Beth, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Beth.
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks for having me, Alondra.
I'm
I'm
so glad you made it.
you're in California and I'm in New Mexico. But my name's Beth Medina, and I've had the pleasure of not competing with Alondra, but being in the same competition in California,
Exactly.
amongst other things that we'll
Right,
about.
right. We've done a couple things together now.
Yes,
So you're in New Mexico.
yes, ma'am.
What city are you in?
Las Cruces.
Okay, and how close is that to Albuquerque, which is my only chance
Mm,
to actually have been in New Mexico?
Probably about 3.5 hours.
Okay. Are you originally from New Mexico?
No, my husband Michael was born and raised here.
Okay.
I'm originally from Atlanta and
Oh,
lived in
okay.
Austin for about 20 years. And we decided, it was time for a change. Austin got too big, and we were saying, let's just have a more simple life. And so we moved here, and we just finished building this house.
So tell us what you do for a living.
Well, we have a skincare company. My husband and I opened a skincare company right when COVID hit.
Okay.
So really bad timing. We're about to have a relaunch in the next few months. Um, and so that's what we've been working on. We have a lab in Dallas, a chemist there who put everything together for us. I'm pretty old, so in my 20s, I just used SkinCeuticals, and it was super expensive. And, my husband was sick of seeing empty bottles everywhere that weren't used. And he's like, why don't you think about, you know, doing your own line? So we found a chemist in Dallas, and that's what we've been working on. Proof Skin
Excellent.
Solution. So we'll be relaunching here in a few months, getting on TikTok. We have a TikTok shop we're setting up, so we're excited.
That's awesome.
Thank
Now,
you.
I am the simplest when it comes to skincare. My daughter's totally into skincare, but I am the super novice in my young age with skincare. So what are the basics? What would be something that you would say is essential for skincare?
Sunscreen.
Okay.
I won't walk out. I mean, that's if I only had one thing that I could use, it would be sunscreen.
Okay.
Vitamin C is really important. Um, I know you've probably heard of hyaluronic acid.
Mhm.
What we're doing in our product, and I don't want to make this a commercial or anything, but I'm using polyglutamic acid, which
Okay.
is 10 times more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. So if you have dry skin, it's it really holds the moisture in.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So sunscreen I do have.
Okay, it's kind of my routine. I keep
Okay.
it simple.
Okay. I like simple. I like
Me
simple.
too.
So I'll definitely have to check out the line.
Okay.
Now, tell me a little bit about how you got started into bodybuilding.
So I've been active all my life. I was a gymnast, cheerleader. And then in my 20s, I got into marathons and triathlons, and that's what I did. And then I messed my knee up, and I couldn't run anymore. And so I started going to Gold's Gym in Austin, started doing spin classes, and I knew nothing about weights. Now I got to tell you, I'm gonna be 58 next month. This is when I was 50, so it was about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
I would go into the weight room in Gold's Gym, and I do a little of this, a little of this. Didn't know what I was doing, and this guy came up to me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing weights. I'm doing weights." And he's like, "You're doing it wrong." My husband used to compete in his 20s, so
Okay.
that's how we met. And he started training me, and about a year and a half or 2 years later, I did my first competition. So I've only really been lifting weights about 7 years, and I got into this
Okay.
about 5 years ago. It's when I started competing.
And what was your first competition?
My first competition was an NPC bikini competition.
Okay.
They hated me,
Oh
and
no.
I knew nothing about natural, or I didn't know.
Mhm.
So we decided to do a bikini. And I mean, I basically got last place. They were like, your legs are too muscular, your arms are too muscular, you know, because I was up there.
Flexing.
You know, and well, they kept saying, do not flex, don't flex.
Right.
So, so then I went to figure
Mm-hmm.
and still too muscular.
Okay.
This was still NPC. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do physique. And I leaned down, I got on that stage. Again, I got last place because I was too small. I just cannot compete in NPC in physique because I'm just, they're just huge. So then I started doing some natural competitions, and that's what I did. I did Naturally Fit Federation in Austin. I've done NGA, IFBB, PA was great. I did a show for them, and they actually sent me to Barcelona to,
No.
to compete in the Arnold.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of really good things have come out of bodybuilding for me and you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your last show? Was it the show that we did together?
No, I did. When I did that show with you, Michael and I had traveled. We had a little travel trailer, and we drove out to California. And we had done a show in San Francisco, and then we came down to LA and did that show in our camper. And then we'll talk about this later. Then we were in Albuquerque. Well, that same week, I went to Phoenix and did another show in Phoenix. So
Oh, wow.
Phoenix was the last
Okay.
an OCB show.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Now let's talk about the different categories. What category did you compete in most recently?
physique.
Okay, so you stuck with women's physique.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've stuck with women. I love doing the routines, you know, with a gymnastics background, and kind of a dance background. That's my favorite part.
The
And
posing.
yeah, and just, you know, doing that routine, you know, like the 2-minute routine.
Right.
And then Michael and I also do mixed pairs. So
Nice.
that's my favorite thing is mixed pairs.
Yeah, that's fun. And that's not often, something that you will see at every show. So it is nice to see when people do mixed pairs.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to bring it back. Some will.
Yeah, I typically only get to see that at the Natural Olympia because a lot of folks from overseas will do mixed pairs, but we don't really see it too much here in the
Right.
States.
Right. We, you know, and so what we usually have to do, it's usually like an, you know, an exhibition.
Mm,
The promoter will say, we'll just do an exhibition. So
mhm.
that's kind of how it is, but we have fun.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I definitely love seeing people do what they love. And I have flirted with the idea of trying women's physique. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to give it a little bit more thought before I get back on stage again. But I do like the posing and the actual routine itself is a wonderful to see anyway, to watch. You like to see, the muscular bodies and the lines,
Right.
and that's one of the best parts of the show.
You know, but I've done figure I did figure just a few years ago. I did figure and I did physique. I
Mhm.
just, I have a problem with the heels,
Mm.
walking in the heels.
You
Yeah,
can't get
especially,
away from that if you want figure.
I know it, you know, and even when you're doing physique, you know, some federations require you to wear the heels doing physique and to get up there
Right,
and to actually do bodybuilding poses in those shoes.
right, right.
It's pretty challenging.
It is challenging. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm a winner if I don't fall off the stage. So
Now, when it comes to prepping for shows, do you typically use a coach or do you still have your husband train you? How does that
uh,
work?
it's Michael. He's my coach, and at this point, you know, I've when I first started, you know, Alondra, and I know you know this because I've watched some of your YouTube shows.
Mhm.
You know, I'm kind of a freak about food.
Mm,
So, you know, I really never go off my diet. Like I'll eat more, but I stay pretty lean throughout the
mhm.
year. Um, but when I first started, I would weigh my food. I have my food scale and I'd weigh everything and I'd be writing everything down. And, now it's kind of gotten to the point I just kind of know, the portions and what I need to eat. If I need to eat some more carbs, I can do that. But no, I mean, Michael, he's my coach and he still has to tell me what to do because, he'll come into the gym and he's like, but you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same arm workout every time. You got to change it up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's absolutely priceless. I don't know what I'd do without him. He's wonderful.
That's awesome. It's great to have that in-house. I don't know if my husband would say the same thing about me, though.
Really?
I am his coach. The couple of times that he has gotten on stage, I've coached him. And, it's nice to have somebody there for you all the time. And prepping food, too, that would be amazing if I could get an in-house food chef. That would be fantastic. That's the only thing I'm missing right now.
Well, it is hard when you're both competing because it's like, because we're both really stressed out. We'll be backstage and, I'm trying to touch up his tan. He's touching up mine. I'm trying to get him pumped up. He's doing the same for me. And, it gets a little stressful, but, we're still married and happy. So
that's what's important.
That's right.
As far as your career in competing in the future, any goals or anything coming up?
I'm actually scheduled for a knee replacement in about
okay.
5 weeks. But I know in my mind I'm gonna put it off as long as I can. So I'm gonna try to wait till next year. So I know that I'll probably do something maybe in June, July, or August. I don't have I haven't even looked at the shows yet.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll be looking for you. I'll be looking
for you. And I'm going to be looking for you in a few days.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's talk about that. So I know straight from the show that we did July 30th, 2022, I know I got that call the Monday morning right after we got home. And it's like, okay, can you get on this plane like right now? And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? What are we doing? So what happened for you? Did you get a phone call similar to that?
Well, again, we're in a travel trailer, right? And I've really never been to California. And so we had our 3 dogs with us and we were in LA and, we were going to be going all over the place. Michael wanted to show me all around. And Denny Capus called and said, well, they want you to come to Albuquerque for a movie. And I said, Denny, I'm on vacation now. I can't go. I'm on vacation. And my husband went, you're getting your, what, on that plane tonight. And he went and bought me a suitcase and he packed me up and we packed my food up. I'm like, because that was like on a Monday, right?
Right.
I had a competition that following Saturday.
That's crazy.
And so I was just freaking out about that. But that was, I hate the word surreal, but it was pretty surreal.
It was a whirlwind, right?
Yes. Yeah. I thought that we were going to be an extra. He said that they needed women who were competition ready bodybuilders.
Right.
And it was going to be an extra. And I've never been in a film before. So, it was wild when we got there and we all had our own trailer with our name on it.
That was, I was like, wait a minute. Is that my name on the trailer? I'm a star.
I look like the biggest hit. I was like, oh my God. It's like, it was really cool.
I did appreciate that, even though it was just like written on tape, but my name was on the trailer.
Yes. That was a really fun time. And I'm so glad that we all had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it was amazing. So for me, like getting to Albuquerque, getting off the plane, it was just the whirlwind of getting the phone call, get on the airplane right now, get to Albuquerque, COVID test, have the, folks pick you up first thing in the morning, drive you to the set, COVID test again.
Yeah.
And then we're on the set and ready to go. Straight to hair and makeup, and so the one thing that I remember very specifically one of the producers I talked to says, yes, bring your suit, whatever suit you just wore. And I'm like, okay, cool. I love my suit. I'm going to bring this beautiful suit. I get there and they're like, it is beautiful, but we're going to give you this little ugly one that's more reminiscent of, the era. And I'm like, man, this is terrible.
I did the same thing. They said, bring your suit. And I'm like, look. And they're like, no.
No, sorry. We're going to give you this little rinky dink one that has absolutely no bling. And for me, I'm like, where's the padding? There's no padding. There's nothing there for me to make myself look any better. But hey, it was actually perfect for the era. So
And you looked absolutely gorgeous. You looked absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, the colors that we wore, the makeup that we wore, the hairstyles that we wore, of course, that's nothing like what we look like today on stage, but it all looked great. It all looked really good, especially, the little bits that we've seen in the trailer and some of the photos. It was amazing what that looked like. That was like the biggest thing for me, especially with my husband being a photographer. The lighting is always something that he plays around with. So for me, watching them do the setup of the lighting in the back of the room, in the front of the room, behind us on the stage, like that was quite amazing to see. And then also to see the little bit of playback they showed while we were there. So
yeah, that was crazy. And when speaking of hair and makeup, I got there, I'm like, well, I usually wear my hair up and I have my extensions. And that woman who did my hair, she says, oh no, right. You're wearing your hair down. We're going to try to make it look as much like Farrah Fawcett here as we can. I mean, and they had it like out here in so much hairspray. And then they oiled us all up. So then I had the oil all in my hair. So,
well, that's pretty much like a regular show, right? Oils everywhere, tanners everywhere. Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. And then, of course, for us, I mean, I've never been on the set of any, major motion picture. The documentary that I did with Generation Iron was, just we'll follow you around and kind of you do your normal day-to-day thing. And then when we got to the Natural Olympia, same thing, basically, we'll follow you around. So there was no, spectacular lighting or setup or, nothing was really scripted. Then for us coming to Albuquerque for this shoot, it's like, okay, we're going to do this 12 times. The only problem for us is that we are like real bodybuilders and we actually are working really hard to do the poses. And now we're really, really hungry. And I had to call somebody over at one point saying, listen, we're going to die if you don't bring we're actually going to die if you don't bring us some food. We're actually real bodybuilders and we're hungry. You guys have been making us work for like 12 hours straight. Please bring us something.
And we were pumping up backstage before every take that we went out there.
It was crazy.
Push-ups and
it was crazy.
Weights. So.
But at least, the second day there was a lot more downtime and we got to actually chill and hang out and enjoy that whole process. They made us work that first day, like really, really work with not enough food. Gave me a new respect for actors all across the board because that was definitely hard work.
Absolutely. Well, did you know that it was going to be that we were going to be on stage with Katie and just be like 6 women on stage? I mean, did you know that you were going to be like
no, not at all
in the movie?
Yeah, not at all. Especially again, just kind of watching the playback of how we looked on that stage. It was amazing. Like I totally did not expect us to be out there like that. Yeah. But hey, we're going to be very prominent in that part of the movie. Very much so.
Well, I'm excited.
I am too. Now, are you going to see it with family, friends? Did you make any plans?
Do you remember Amy Downing? Well, she lives in Albuquerque, and I think she's invited us to come there. So we might Albuquerque. Okay. I just thought it was funny that I was out in LA, and the one time I get to do a movie, they send me back to New Mexico. I'm right near Hollywood, but everything is shot in Albuquerque now.
Well, what I found extremely interesting was, of course, the movie is set in 1989, that I think that's why we had to go to Albuquerque. Where else can you go where this hotel looks like it's exactly out of the 80s without doing anything? Down
Right
to
here in Las
the
Cruces, right in Las Cruces. You can come here. It's like that everywhere.
but the pink backgrounds and
Yeah.
the bathroom, like everything was just straight up like 70s, 80s. It was very interesting to see. I felt like we were in a time warp.
I will be interested to see when we did some of the shooting down in that. Remember, we were downstairs in
Yeah,
that like conference room,
yeah.
and I was thinking, how is this going to look good on on a movie screen?
You
But
know what? It's those camera angles. It's going to be, I can't wait to see it because again, there was so much of kind of like B-roll that we did down there.
yeah,
I don't know how that's going to fit into the script, but it'll be interesting to see.
well, are you going to like a watch party or what are y'all
Yeah,
doing?
so I have a couple gyms and I have my team of athletes and um, I've got, friends and family. So we're all going to go together to watch a showing on Saturday after I finish working, of course, but it should be fun.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't go to Albuquerque, we'll have to go to El Paso to see it because they're not.
Okay.
This place is so small. El Paso is only about 45 minutes away from here, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, it'll be a fun time. I can't wait to actually see this whole thing put together. It's going to be amazing. So I have to say, after doing that shoot and just kind of like I've done the documentary and then doing this shoot, I'm thinking, maybe do I like this? Do I want to try some more of this? So I'm maybe trying to see if I can dip my foot in another. Like I have nothing else to do, right? But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Are you going to get your SAG card?
Possibly, I'm thinking about it. This definitely opened my eyes to what it looks like to be on set and kind of what you can expect behind the scenes and not just an extra. We were a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having a part to play in this whole story of this lady wanting to be a bodybuilder. So who knows? Maybe we'll both be on screen again.
Let's do it. Hey, I was like, I wish I would have done this in my 20s, but now my God, I'm getting up there. But I'm experiencing so many cool things now at this age that
Right.
don't ever get to experience. So I'm just thrilled for anything that I get to do.
We were definitely ready in the right place at the right time.
Yes, we were.
Olympia.
Yes.
Have you done the Natural Olympia?
No, we almost did it last year. I mean, this coming one, I might be able to if my knee will behave. I'm pretty hard-headed and stubborn, so um, I might just be there.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm not sure what lies ahead for me. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate this year. It's kind of a transitional year for me. But the one thing that I am absolutely looking forward to is this weekend and seeing this movie. That's first on my to-do
Yeah,
list. Got to see what this all looks like, and again, that might inspire me to actually pursue some other things.
I completely agree. I mean, I had a blast. It was, and I got to tell you, the company that was running it, the production crew, I don't know if that's the right word or not. They were absolutely fantastic because they knew that I had a show. They were flying me to Phoenix, and
Mm,
I was like, okay, I can't eat any of the food.
right.
you know, I can't eat any of the food. I thought the fry couldn't do it. So they brought, rice cakes and sweet potatoes and chicken, and it was really cool how they did that and catered to us. Um, I was very impressed with the whole thing.
Yeah, they were good. They were good. After I yelled at them about not giving us food
That's food,
for
exactly.
too long on that first day. I mean, I get it. We were working, 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 but I'm like, listen, we actually do need to eat. We need a break.
And I hope I get to see you again soon in
I
person.
know, I know, I know. Again, I hope that I can be as active as I have been in the past with all of the competitions. Um, I've got a big birthday coming up this year, and I'm doing some traveling. So we'll see. I'm juggling a lot of things with the second gym and just life in general. It's been a roller coaster for me the last couple of years as well. So hopefully things kind of settle down a little bit and I can get back to my groove.
Well, yeah, I watched your interview with your son,
Hmm.
and you've been doing this 14, you've been competing, what, 14 years?
15, yeah.
15 years?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you deserve a break.
I
Go
did
travel.
take a small break. I did take a small break when I opened my bigger gym in 2014. I was actually really focused on just, getting the business going and took a couple years to just train my athletes. My team got really big. I was having, 15 to 20 people on stage at the same show. So that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I'm not having as large a teams as of late, which is a lot better. Just 20 people is a lot of people, no matter what you're doing. But
Well, I
um,
don't know how you would do that and compete at the same time.
I've done it. The one show I did with my team, I think it was me plus 12, and I said I will never do that again. It just was so crazy having to be on as a coach and then on as an athlete.
Mhm.
That's just way too much to put on anybody's one plate.
Oh, well, Michael and I, when we compete, it's like, that's hard enough, just me and him. I can't
Right.
imagine you doing it and having, your whole crew with you.
Yeah, I will never do that
Kudos.
again. The most I can do, like at the Natural Olympia in 2022, it was me plus 3 of my girls, and then the year before that, I believe there was 4 other girls from my team there. But and that's not too bad, but 12 was just crazy. I learned my lesson.
Well, that's why you're a coach. And I'm not.
Never again. When we went to Greece, I think there were 5 of us total that went from my team, and again, just having to always be on as the coach is really difficult.
You
Add in
competed in
travel.
Greece?
Yes.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, that was so fun. Greece was absolutely the best travel trip for a show that I've ever done,
What?
and actually, it was the 2019 World Championships with the INBA, PNBA, and Denny's from Greece, so
That's
he was
right.
able to put together some amazing dinners, and we did a boat cruise, we did a bus tour around the island, that he's from, and it was a great trip altogether. The travel was long, especially being on prep in peak week.
Yeah.
Traveling from, California to Greece was a long trip. It was a hard, long trip. A couple people lost luggage, and I mean,
Oh, wow.
international travel is hard enough. So add a prep to that, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. But there were like 35 people from Team USA that went over. So it was a large group of us, but we had a great time. It was really nice.
Did you pre-pack your food or anything
Oh
before?
yeah.
Because that's when I went. Yeah, when I went to Barcelona, we had dry ice and I had all of my food packed, and we were there for. I said, "Do not lose my food."
Right. I kept mine with me. I froze everything and traveled with it in my hand because, cold food on an airplane is not fun, but it was just,
Yeah,
if you're a bodybuilder, you know what it is. You just have
exactly.
to
Well,
adapt.
that's cool. I didn't know that you went and competed in Greece.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. I definitely would do that again in Greece. I don't know about other countries, but because we've also traveled to Prague, and that was not a great time. I did not have a great time there. The international judging is always hit or miss. Sometimes the judging is kind of skewed because of where you are, and
Mhm.
they judge very differently. They pose very differently, so the expectations are kind of unknown. There's a language barrier. So there's a lot of things that are a little bit off when you travel and compete overseas, but we still had a decent time. But That's not a place I would go again.
When I went to Barcelona, there was the IFBB and they wanted to send a natural woman and a natural man over there. We showed up, and the bikini women were like 3 times my size. I mean, most of them were on steroids. I mean, it was just very prevalent. There was no pump up area. You were just backstage, and he was getting a towel and trying to pump me up with a towel, the old fashioned way.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy. It was fun, and I cherish it.
Quite an experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. But nothing compared to the movie. Love.
No. Yeah, we had a good time on that.
Yeah. They weren't real judges.
No. So we all won. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate you joining me. And of course, I would love to see you again soon. Keep me posted on what you're doing. And of course, again, with your skincare line. What is the name of it again?
Proof Skin Solutions.
Okay. We got to look out for that.
Yeah, we have got a website. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. But I can't wait to see you again on the screen. But this weekend, I'm going to see you.
Yes.
I appreciate you having me on, Alondra.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you again soon. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you back next time.